Hello everyone, I'm River Fox. Welcome back to another 2021 Canny Valley Storm Shield Defense. Now, in case you haven't followed any of my previous builds for Canny Valley on this new series, and do check, there will be some links in the description. But I do have now 2 new accounts which I'm working on. So I've got 4 accounts now in total. And on these new accounts, I have been trying to place as many different amplifiers as I can in order to help as many different people out. So on this account, which is my 4th account, for SSD number 7, I had the option of placing this amplifier over here, or I had the option of placing that one all the way over there. So we will get over to it in a moment. But I just want to quickly go through my traps with you. Now, once you have done SSD number 6, you will have the option then of upgrading your traps to 106s. Now, I've only just, after completing number 7, upgraded the traps. So all of the traps that you see in these builds are still level 77s. And apart from my broadsides and drop traps, which are both full legendary, and my retractable spikes, which are almost all legendary, all of the other ones that I have got are really not that great perks. They're blue perks, and some of them not even that. Some of them have only got green perks and yeah, even grey perks in some places. So they are not the greatest of traps. So at least you will know that when you come to do your SSD number 7, you should still be able to complete these relatively easy with lower level traps than the 106s. So having said that, as I said, I had the option of placing that amplifier over there or this one over here. So what I did do is I did decide to place this amplifier over here for the very reason that in all the time I've played Fortnite Save the World, I've never actually got to place this amplifier. Never once have I actually even experienced the spawns for these or where they come from. So it's something new for me, but I can also hopefully help you out in the process. So it's taken me probably a good few days of testing, running, testing, and more running of these SSDs, because you will get attacked on this amplifier on wave 4 or 5, and you will have to kill 300 husks when you do. Now you will have a spawn from the north, from the east, and from the south. It can be any one of those. It is totally random. And even after I managed to get everything working correctly, I still had to keep running it and running it, trying to get some gameplay, which should be coming up on above my webcam, of all the 3 directions for you. So you should see that coming up. So let's start over from the north first of all. Now with the north, it is going to be a bit complicated, and a lot of builds are going to merge into each other, because we got builds here which are set up for our amplifier B, which is over here, and of course they merge in then with our ones we've just set up for our amplifier D. So one thing you will notice when you do get attacked for your new amplifier over there, the spawn point will end up being around this section here. So you may remember at some point I did have in here additional block off like that. So I've had to take that away because the spawn point was actually spawning directly inside it. So I've got rid of those, and I've added in a couple of wall darts and broadsides there. Now I've also had to take this ceiling piece out, because another spawn point for this amplifier over here kept on coming up there and going up to the very top of that, and then just dropping straight down over the top of it. So I had to get rid of that piece in the process. Now all of the builds up here, they are all really set up for that amplifier over there, amplifier B. But they will help you a lot in your new amplifier D over here, because they spawn on that. They're going to get hit by all of these traps in the process. If they happen to get past any of those, Then what we have done here is we've basically got just a long tunnel which is filled with wall darts and broadsides and retractables. Now I've got ceiling drop traps up the top for two reasons. One, my drop traps are far better perked up than my ceiling electric fields. But two, I don't know whether there's been some issues with electric fields recently, but I was watching when gameplay was, running and testing, and they didn't seem to be going off as properly as they should be. So I just took them all out and put in drop traps instead. So if the issue with electric fields gets sorted out and everything is working fine, then the electric fields will be better for you. They're going to do a much better job if you've got them perked up correctly. But yeah, they're going to come through all of this tunnel here. Once they do get to the end, they'll get launched back anyway. And to be honest, hardly anything even made it up this point. The only thing that may actually get that far is any smashers if they spawn. But we got a load of bits here as well, and these all link in to our other builds. So before I go through those, I do want to just get, if I can actually get up here, I do want to get up to the top, because your spawn point for the east is going to be all the way down behind this mountain over here. So it's around this point over here somewhere. But you will also get a spawn point which will appear on the top up here as well. And because you've got this wooden bridge, they will walk straight across this bridge, and if you don't have this block off here, then they will just walk straight over and straight to your amplifier. So I did manage just about to get a little bit of block off at the top here for now. That will stop them hopefully from wanting to bash through it and make them sort of fall down to the two tunnels down there. Later on, when you get the opportunity, you will be able to probably break some of that bridge, and that will prevent them from actually being able to get over to this far anyway. But they will spawn in that spot that I showed you, and they've got the option then of coming down this way, directly down this ramp down here and through this tunnel, which again I've left that ceiling piece out in case they do want to drop down up there and drop onto this and go straight across. So I left that one off, but this one is literally the same sort of thing. We got our wooden floor spikes at the center, the entrance to this tunnel, just to slow them down and make sure they take more damage. And we got broadsides on both sides, and then we got retractable floor spikes underneath, and our drop traps up above. I did manage to get one sort of timeout box in here, but it won't allow you to build anything in this square, so you've got to leave that one open anyway. Now behind this, there is a possibility you might get some that want to come down here. If they do, then hopefully they should just bash on this wall anyway, break this and end up into the other tunnel anyway. We got a little bit of block off there just to stop anything from the spawn over that direction wanting to come through that little tunnel. But they should head through all of this, head through this, and they will get hit by these launchers and things in the process, and it should take them out. Now if they want to come over this side, they will come around that mountain there, around this section here, and there's basically only one spot they can come down, and that's through here. So I only added this wall in just to try and slow them down a little bit, and hope that it was enough really for the other traps over there to start causing damage to them, because I wanted to try and keep as much of the natural surroundings here that I could as possible. So that is why we don't have floor pieces here, because it's going to destroy things like this, and I just didn't want to get rid of those. If you don't care about those, then by all means fill up the floor pieces, fill up ceilings, walls. You can get plenty more builds around here. If you're not worried about the house, and you've got ceiling here, you've got wall pieces here that you can place on, you've got floors and what have you, just make sure that you destroy them and place your own builds there, Otherwise, if you place any traps on structures like this, then you won't get those traps back when you destroy them. So don't just place them straight on. And the same here, you got walls, you can place floors and more walls here as well. And I wanted to try and keep these. That's why I didn't have so many traps in this section, because later on, once we do get past all of this and we get into endurances, we will be able to build much further back towards the spawn points, which mean that we won't need so many traps up this end anyway. If they do get past all of this lot here, then we have got some other sections. I was kind of hoping that when it got to it, that they would bash through this rather than that wall, which would come around this section, which is why there's a few traps set up here as well. But I think they kind of made it to that point on this section, because majority of them came around this way anyway, and they were taken out from there. Now there is a third direction which I didn't have any other problems with. If they really wanted, especially those lobbers might do, they may take the really long route all the way around the mountain to come around this side, but I didn't get any problems from that. If they do, then they probably just break one of these anyway, which is fine. I'll send them straight into these tunnels anyway. So that will cover your east direction. Now, as I said, you can also get attacked from your south. So for that direction, let me get up try and get up the top here. It's very limited where you can actually blooming go around here. Let's try and there we go. Right, so for the south, they are going to spawn in various different places up here. You're going to have a spawn literally on this corner here. You will have a spawn which will be, if we can get up there, on this section here. You will have a spawn up there on the top of that, and you are going to have spawns around the top of this and also down there as well. So there's quite a lot of places that they can actually come. So what I did do, because I did find I was getting quite a few spawns down here, so I just added this section in on here, and I didn't bother placing any on these bits because they shouldn't really come up this far, but I did put in some drop traps up there so that any that do spawn around this section should get hit by the drop traps, and they should hopefully take them out before they even get anywhere. Don't bother building anything on this section because it would just get destroyed from the actual spawn point. The ones that spawned up there tended to just fall down into this section and head into our tunnel. You may get some that will want to go around that way and fall down there to go in through that tunnel down the other side, which we go into in a second, but majority of them did seem to want to come through this way. So what I have done here, we've just got a wall launcher, and it's going to fling them into this big box with our broadsides, our electric fields and wall darts. I've got a freeze trap on the floor just to kind of freeze them in place a little bit, just to take some more damage from all these big traps. If they make it out through here, we got more side traps, and of course our drop traps on this ramp, which will cause damage as they're going down. As they walk down this ramp, they're going to get hit by 3 lots of wall darts, which deal big damage to them, and then we got more broadsides and freeze traps at the bottom to hopefully freeze them in place, take more damage again. If they make it far enough, we got a wall launcher, hopefully fling them all the way back out to take a little bit more damage, and then they will start heading down this ramp. And not too many got down here, luckily, but we've got some extra wall darts and drop traps up here as well. Now you can build there, but you cannot build on this spot here because of this annoying section of mountain. So there's no way to physically block that off, but luckily the husks do seem to come down here to go round rather than actually falling off of the actual ramp. So if they do come down here, we got more traps up here as well, and they're going to head through this slot then, which is pretty much a straight line to the amplifier. And to be honest, nobody ever made it past this point. They all died before they got to that point. And the last section is this one here, for any that do come up from up there and come down this way. Now the barrier is going to be across this section here, so you won't be able to place a trap on this wall, but I did manage to get traps on these, and this is pretty much just the same as all the others, broadsides and retractables, a couple of freeze ones just to hold them in place, and launcher to launch them back out to take more damage. If they get round here, we've got another wall launcher, fling them into a box, which is just filled with broadsides and drop traps, so that will take care of them there. Pretty much the only things that really ever made it any far in these builds were the smashers, and it was lucky enough they kind of got taken out just before they ever made it to the actual amplifier. So that is our new build, which I don't know if it's got a proper name to it because I've never placed it before, but I'm going to call this the Canny Valley Devil Amp, because it is an absolute pain in the backside to build for. But hopefully once we start getting my traps leveled up to 106s with a few more perks on them, we'll be able to get a lot more damage done, because surprisingly the barrier hasn't moved that far. It has literally only moved about this much really from the last defense that we've done. So it's only really going to give me the space to get in one more row of traps in there. I'm not really going to get much more in that side. Over on this section over here, I don't think there's really very much we can do on this side either. We can get another floor piece here. We can get some wall pieces in as well. It's going to be tricky getting back out once you've done it, but hopefully you can just about, yeah. So we'll be able to get a couple more traps in there, but that's literally going to be it. I can probably get another ceiling one up here. But yeah, we'll definitely have to get all our traps upgraded to 106s, and get some more decent perks on them before we do our number 8. But yeah, that is it for this account. Now, as for the other account, my third one, on that one you will have the option of placing this amplifier here or this one down here. So on that account I did place this amplifier, which we have already covered in our builds before, so we got pretty much everything set up on here. One thing I do want to add, because I'm not going to go in on the other account, I'm just going to do it from here. One thing I do want to add is I would definitely place in a wall here. I did find on that one when I was doing defenses that especially the Zapper guys, they were coming along this point and falling down here and just walking straight over. So it would be a good idea for you to just place in an extra build on here just to make sure that they're not going to go that way. But other than that, all the builds for that amplifier are going to be exactly the same as this, so I'm not going to go through them again. If you want to see the builds that I set up for this one, then they will be, I think, SSD7. You can check that one out. They will be on there. The link will be in the description down below. But I hope you do find this useful. If you do, please consider hitting that like. Hope you have a fantastic day. Until the next one, stay safe, my friends.